Hi, this is Zak Mir with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Vox Markets for Monday, the 21st of June. Starting off with Asimilar, we're still on track for a top of November trend channel target as high as 80 pence, and that's valid while there's no end of day close. Back below the initial June resistance at 62 pence. We've got the old resistance there, sort of pre the suspension, etc., in terms of the low 50s plus. And that last swing low there around 55 pence. So looking pretty strong for an 80 pence target by the end of next month. Moving along to Audioboom, which I covered last week and has made good progress so far to start this week. Easily cleared that old April peak at 770, and the longer we remain above that, the greater the chance of a move towards the top of a rising January trend channel as high as £11.50 as soon as the end of next month. Big news from Dev Clever today, and well received by the market. We're looking for 50 pence as a rather ambitious sounding target only last week, and we missed that by just over a couple of pence. Should hit that ideally by the end of this month. And the upside valid, at least while we hold above that old March peak at 39.5, so above 39.5. Looking for 50 pence initially. The issue now probably is that if you're looking for, if you're a fan of the shares and looking for further greater gains, that could be up to 60 pence at the November resistance line projection if we hold or break 50 pence, hopefully by the end of this month. So by the end of this month, if we get to 50, then 60 is possible. The latest bull argument valid while we're above 39.5 March resistance. Stock which is perhaps not quite so high profile at the moment, I-nexus Global. And that the reason for the inclusion here today is really the bounce that we had the end of last week off old former resistance at 8 pence. That's become new support, and the longer we stay above 8 pence, the greater the chance of the shares heading back to the dizzy heights of April and early this month towards 15 and 16 pence. So maybe that's a risk-reward situation that some people may want to consider. The other plus point here is the way that these shares bounced, at least in the last rebound that we had, well above the 200-day moving average at just over 7 pence. Some rehabilitation seen at the moment at Nuformix. Here the reason for the inclusion is the way that we've had the shares now holding above what was formerly support at the end of May at 2 pence. We had a sort of bear trap below that. Currently trying to deliver us an end-of-day close above the 50-day moving average at 2.25. If we can get that, then the top of that broadening triangle from December at 4 pence could be on the cards as soon as the end of next month. Moving on to one of the punters' favourites, yet another one. We got Premier African Minerals, and good move good move at the end of last week to close above the 50-day moving average at 0.17 pence. Longer we stay above the 50-day line, the greater the chance of a top of February trend channel target as high as 0.34 as soon as the end of next month. Moving along to a stock which covered quite early in its rally that we've had. The unfilled gap through resistance in January was the big plus there, around 0.7 pence, 0.8 pence, and never really looked back from that. Current situation is we've broken a line of resistance from March, just above 3 pence, I call it 3.1 pence, and above 3.1 looking to the top of the rising trend channel from January as high as 5 pence. And that could be seen as soon as the end of next month. Stock which has been doing well in terms of its recent rally over the course of the month, basically started at the beginning of the month, is Prospect Energy, and the longer the shares manage to stay above the initial 2021 resistance at 2.49 pence, the greater the chance of 2.59 pence actually, 2.58, the greater the chance of a move towards the top of that broadening triangle from last summer up to 4 pence, and we could hopefully see that by the end of July. The other positive to note at the moment is that we seem to be in the run-up to a golden cross between the 50 and 200-day moving averages, so that should have quite a decent effect on the share price the longer they hold above the 2.5 pence zone. Just a couple of stocks to go now. First one, Tirupati Graphite, which has managed to spike through £1.50, but at least temporarily. We had £1.60, which was our previous target once we broke 130, and it looks as though the share is still quite happy to head towards that area. In terms of the stop loss, around 136 now, the stop loss, that was the initial June resistance. Above that, looking towards 160 or even a little bit more by the next, well, so over the next couple of weeks, let's say. Finishing off with one of the highlights of 2021 on the stock market, we've got Zephyr Energy. Shares building well after the latest gap to the upside, but I suppose it was the gap at the beginning of, well, the push higher at the beginning of June, the breakthrough resistance, the old 3.85 pence that got this current bull leg going, and 8 pence is the target here by the end of next month, while we hold above the latest gap around 4.6 pence over the next few sessions. Above 4.6, looking for 8 pence by the end of next month for Zephyr. That's it from me today. More updates tomorrow.